general labor type guy, you know. He might not have been, but anyhow, he was telling me, and he said, "Buddy, I seen something now. Let me tell you, I saw it." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "I was up to Richwood, and he said I thought I'd like to have me a sandwich." And he said I went around, and he just told me where it was on that street run parallel with the main street. There was a Dairy Queen or something like that there, and he said I went up there and I drove up to that, and he said there's a sign there, and it's got stuff on it, writing on it. I don't even think he's reading right. Maybe.
I don't think he could read.
Yeah.
I don't think he could read.
No, but anyhow, he said there's a sign there, and he said I pulled up to that sign, and he said, "Let me tell you something." He said I pulled up that sign, and that sign said, "What do you want?" And he said, I said, "Oh, bullshit." And he said, "It said, what do you want?" And he said, "Well, I just stopped here to get me a hamburger." And and the sign said, "Well, what do you want on it?" And I said, "Now, come on." It said that? Yes, it did, buddy. And his eyes would get big, you know, you get all excited. And I said, "Well, what'd you do?" Bob Keffer, that was Bob, wasn't it?
I think.
Anyhow, he said, "Well, after I told it what I wanted, it said, well, drive around front." So he said, I just drove around the building, and when I come out over the other side, there's a guy there, and he just reached me out what I told him. Said that sign told him what it was I wanted.
And how much?
And how much to pay, you know. And he said, "Man, that is." And I said, "Now you're making that shit up." and he said, and his eyes would get big every time you'd remember that. And it never dawned on him that it was just a microphone, you know, but now, and so.
Well, that was his first experience with a drive-through.
Quite some time later, I run into him up there one day, and I said, "Oh, Bob, I went up there to Richwood where you said to that place out back over there." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "You was telling it just the way it was, buddy." He did talk to you. That's how I'm talking to you. And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I drove up there and said, what do you want?" And I told her what I wanted, and I just like you said, I drove around front and it arrested me to, and shit, you'd think it, you'd know better now, but